welcome to another video. My name is Cheryl, and this is my crafting, mostly knitting and a little crochet, and bookish thoughts, and also just general chatter about things that interest me. So thank you for joining this episode, and I hope you enjoy the video. My username on social media, on Ravelry, Instagram, and now this week, Goodreads. Yes, I finally set up Goodreads account and joined. So yeah, on all those three places on social media, my username is Cappuccino136@hotmail.com. And I will spell that and put all that information, as well as other information about patterns and yarns and projects and books and movies and things that I think you might want to be able to reference under this video in the information box. So that's where I will be putting some show notes, and I hope they are helpful to you. Also, I am not putting links in those show notes in the information box. I hope that is okay. If you are watching and it's very important to you, you really, really, really want things to be linkable, then please make a comment in the comment section under the video and let me know that, and if people are asking, I will work on it. Yeah. Also, feel free to just post a chatty comment, or say hello, or comment about any of the things that I talk about. Carry on the conversation under the video in the comments. That's welcome. So yeah, I do appreciate the people so far on my few videos who've taken the time to make comments, and I've gotten some really, really fun ones, and all very friendly and very nice, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Now, this was a week. This weekend we had family from out of state that were traveling and coming through town and spending the afternoon with us on Saturday. And my sister came down. She's about an hour north from us. She came down for Saturday and stayed through Sunday, which was great. So we were, it was going to be a big weekend, and then during the week, just lots of little things also happened, and a few urgent things that were unexpected that needed attention and time, and it was stressful. But we got to the weekend, and the weekend was great. The family visit time was wonderful, and it was so good to see them, and so good to have my sister stay a little extra, and we got to spend a little extra time with her too. I hope you had a good week. But with everything, reading did not happen, and listening to audiobooks did not happen. But knitting and crochet, when I was stressed out, was my refuge. And that did keep going, and I made some progress on my summer top. This is the current state of the front piece of my summer top. It looks exactly like the back piece that I finished last week so far. But it will be a little different. I'm hoping to do a V-neck shaping for the front because I like a V-neck. So I want to do that. And if it goes the way I'd like it to, I could actually have my choice of necklines. I could put the scoop in the front if I want a little shallow scoop, or I could put the V in front if I want a V. I love having options, and I like versatility. So I'm hoping that will work out the way I see it in my head. We'll see how that goes. I finished the Blue Sky Hug Scarf, which I'm really pleased with, but I'm not going to show it to you in this video today because it's finished, yes, but the ends are not woven in, and it still looks kind of sad and wrinkly and messy. It has not been soaked or blocked. I finished it last night, so I will show it in a future video after it has been soaked and blocked and all the ends woven in, and it looks really beautiful. That's when I will show you the real finish. So hopefully sometime this summer. I plan to wear it hopefully in like July and August. So hopefully it won't take me too long, but I procrastinate a bit on the blocking too. You know how I am with ends, and I also procrastinate with the blocking. So, but I'm motivated to have it, so hopefully it won't take more than a few weeks. So that is the crafting. I will cast on soon a new project, and I don't have it chosen. I don't even know what type. I don't think I'm gonna do another garment right now, but it could be anything. I really haven't decided. I'm tempted to do a sock because I'm having a hard time resisting socks at the moment, so that could be. But you'll find out in the next video, and I will have something new to show you that you haven't seen before. So yeah, and like I just said, I really want to possibly cast on a sock. So let's talk socks, because there's so much to say. Now, if you are not a sock knitter, you may be thinking, what? There's a lot to talk about socks? And why? Why socks? Why would you even make them by hand? I don't get it. And yeah, a lot of people don't understand. So I just thought I'd open up the world of sock knitting a little bit to anybody who may be curious, or anybody who just doesn't get it, or to those of you who already love socks and can't get enough socks, and so yeah, let's talk socks. But one of the reasons there's a lot to say about socks is because there's so many ways to make them. You can use so many different kinds of needles and needle configurations. I mean, some people even knit them on straight needles flat and then make a seam. Now that sounds very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. But some people do. You can knit them with circular needles with two needle tips and a cable. You can knit them with double pointed needles or DPNs. You can knit them with 2 circulars, 2 at a time. What? Mind blown. You can do, yeah, it's like endless the variations of how you can set it up and what kind of needles and things you can use. Most people knit their socks with fine, thin fingering weight yarn. Some people knit like hiking socks with thicker worsted weight yarn, and then thicker needles, of course. So yeah, there are endless variations. You can also knit them in different directions. You can start with the toe go up the foot, do the heel, and then go up the leg. Or you can start with the cuff and the leg, and then do the heel, and then the foot, and end with the toe. So toe up and cuff down, whatever direction you choose. And some people even start with the heel and knit out, do a leg and then a cuff, or a cuff and then a leg, start with the heel. Yeah, there are endless, truly endless variations. And that's one of the fun things, because you can always try something new. You don't ever have to knit it the same way if you don't want. Now let me talk about my tools that I like to use. I love talking about needles and tools. For, I know, the last year and a half or 2 years, I've really most every time been using 9-inch circulars to knit my socks. Here are my ChowGoo 9-inch circulars in US size 1, which is 2.25 millimeter. See how thin those needles are? Yeah, that's 2.25 millimeter. And these are metal, the stainless steel tips, and the cord is a steel cord with red plastic coating. I do both socks, one on each needle, and I cast them both on at the same time, one after the other, and I start them both because second sock syndrome is so real. The very, very first sock I knit, when I was teaching myself with 2 books from the library and YouTube. Yeah, it was fun. Actually, it really was fun and a little crazy. But yeah, I did one sock with double pointed needles. I came to the end of that one sock and I was over the moon. That was like magic. How did I make this sock? It was amazing. And I was just so excited. And then that lasted for about 5-10 minutes until I realized I'm not done. You can't do anything with one sock. I now have to start over and repeat everything I just did with the same yarn, same colors. And do everything the same all over again. And I was like, oh no, that is not fun. It wasn't a good feeling. And a lot of people struggle with that. And so second sock syndrome is absolutely real. So having 2 separate needles, doing both socks side by side, and I just switch back and forth between them. I knit one for a while, then put that down, do the other one to catch up to the same spot that the other one is at, and then when I finish one toe, then I finish the second toe, all done, a finished pair, finished together. And then it's for real done, like real done. And I can start a different project with different color yarn and different pattern, and I have a usable pair of socks, not just one sad, lonely, useless, lonely sock. So that works for me. And other people enjoy doing 2 at a time, which is when they're not on separate needles, they're actually together side by side on the same on the same needle or the same set of needles, because you can do 2 circular, 2 at a time. Yeah, I know. Ah, crazy talk. But yeah, I don't love doing 2 at a time. I prefer just having them separate and switching back and forth. That makes me happy. My first set of DPNs were bamboo, and they bent and they broke in not too long. My first pair of 9-inch circulars were also bamboo tips, and I was doing a cabled sock, and in the middle of the cable the bamboo snapped. Ah, that was really not fun. So with these, 2.25 millimeter or other, real thin tips or thin needles, I was afraid to do anything with wood or bamboo anymore. So that's why I like the metal, and that's why my DPNs, these are my DPNs that I love. These are carbon fiber DPNs. This is the black is the carbon fiber, and then they have metal chrome plated tips, which are so slick and fast, and I love that. And the carbon fiber is strong. It's not bending, it's not snapping. I've used these needles for years. I've knit plenty of socks and plenty of toes with these needles, and they have never bent, not at all, never snapped. One time I had a metal tip come off. I was able, with a little super glue, to glue it back on, and it's not perfect. There's a little catch now because the join isn't quite right, but it's not bad enough that it stops me from knitting with them. It's not that serious. So I was able to keep going with those and repair that with some super glue. But that carbon fiber, wonderful. Yeah. Now I know some people do use wooden DPNs and even bamboo DPNs in little thin sock sizes, but I am a tight knitter, especially with socks, because you want a tight, dense fabric for socks. And so that's why I snap the ones that are wood or bamboo. So that's some tool talk. And yeah. Now I'd like to show you a 3 pairs of socks that I have made, and I think these are all within the last 2 years, maybe even all in 2018. I'm not 100% sure, but they're fairly recent, and I'd like to show them to you. And oh no, what's this? It's an end, not woven in. I wear these socks. Now these have been washed. These are clean and ready to be worn. But I have worn these socks and washed them a few times, and ends are still not woven in. No ma'am. Because it's me, and I don't like weaving in ends. I tuck them in. And I wear them tucked. Yes, I do. But this pair, the yarn is Patton's Croy sock in the gray marl color. So it's just kind of white and gray marled together, which gives kind of a textured look. And then this is a cable. That cable, I just took some charts and put things together and made this up. So I improvised this cabled sock. But the thing about cabled socks is that cables, they bring the fabric in, and it's very dense and it's not stretchy the way knit fabric usually is. So with socks and cables, you have to be careful. That's why the back of this is mostly just a 2x2 rib. And then these are actually not real cables. They're slip stitch cables. So they act pretty much just like a rib. So the back of this is 2x2 rib to make it really stretchy, to give a good fit, even though the front has more cables and is not very stretchy. The front still has a little bit of rib in it because I just really did not want to, I wanted to be able to get these over my heel and onto my leg. I did not want to find out that I could not get these socks on my feet. So I also, even with the ribbing, I still added like 2 or 4 extra stitches than my usual sock count. So extra stitches plus ribbing is what it takes for a good fit on a really cabled sock. And the heel on these cabled socks, you see here, this is a short row heel. The short row comes up like this. These are where the short rows are. This isn't the best fabric for seeing the line. And then here, right here in this little corner, is a mini gusset right here. A little few extra stitches and then a decrease down, because I can't wear just a short row heel. It won't even get on my foot. I can't get it around my heel because I have a really tall instep. I also have chunky ankles. I need room. And so just a short row heel with no other adjustments does not fit me at all. And for the longest time, I didn't think I would ever wear or do a short row heel for that reason. But from Mina Phillip, who is the Knitting Expat, that's her podcast. She's the host, and she is also a designer. She designs sock patterns and sweater patterns, hat patterns. She is a very good designer and a very well-known podcaster. So you probably have seen her around, or if you are new to the crafting podcasts, or if you just don't watch very many of them, then you might not have heard of her. But if you haven't, check her out because she's really good. And I have a few of her sock patterns, and in her sock patterns, as a bonus, she gives you a separate page with instructions on how to add a mini gusset to a short row heel to give you extra space and extra fabric to get around the widest part of your foot, and so it'll fit your whole foot and you'll have room for the heel and everything. So once I had instructions for adding a mini gusset, I was like, I have to try a short row heel, because I just never thought I would. And with the gusset, they fit, and that's wonderful. That's another really good reason for making your own hand knit socks, because you can custom fit them to exactly your size, and you can make them the best fit possible for you. So that, I think, is the best reason for hand knitting socks, to get the really perfect fit. And with the mini gusset, the short row heels are a very good fit now. Before that, I only did a heel flap and gusset. So let me show you one of those. These socks, again, let me tuck in the ends, like I always have to. Should have done that before I turned the camera on, right? These are a Mina Phillip pattern from the sock club she did in 2018. I can't remember which one this was, but I love the pattern. And I did not do the short row heel like she put in. I just decided I was in the mood for my old standard and still #1 favorite, the heel flap and gusset. This is the heel flap. See, it looks a little bit like ribbing, and it's a slip stitch pattern, and it makes the fabric work a little bit like ribbing. It pulls it in a little bit, and it also gives a little extra density and durability, because if you are wearing socks in your shoes, this is where you get a lot of friction and a lot of rubbing and wear. So the purpose of this heel stitch for the heel flap is to make it stronger and more durable. And then when you turn the heel and you pick up the stitches on the flap, you have a lot of extra stitches here, which is what gives you the room that you need for a tall instep. And then you have the extra stitches here, and then you slowly decrease them down to your basic stitch count for your foot, and usually the stitch count for the foot is the same as the stitch count for the leg. Now again, the idea of a custom fit for myself, I have a chunky leg and a kind of chunky ankle. I need more stitches on the leg than I do for the main part of my foot. So my leg stitch count is higher, and then I decrease as I get closer to the toe. I do some decreases for my foot, and when I start the toe, I've decreased down either 6 or 8 stitches less than I did for the leg. Yeah, so custom fit, that's why we make things. But I love this yarn, and I love these colors. This is a Regia sock yarn with so many colors, and it's kind of stripy, but the colors also just kind of blend together, which I enjoy. But it's a really, really colorful and fun yarn, which you can get away with in socks and make socks a lot of fun. But there are even more kinds of heels than a short row or a heel flap. But those are the two most common and main ones. And then there are variations on different kinds of heel flap and different kinds of short row. One short row heel variation that is very, very popular is the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which I believe is still available on Ravelry. I don't have it. I've never used it because I prefer, for short row, I use the German short row technique. That's my favorite short row style. So I do German short rows for my short row heel. Kat Bordy has a really fun one. I haven't tried it yet, but I might try it sometime, called the Sweet Tomato heel, which is short rows, but not, you do it in wedges. You use the short row to make wedges instead of the usual short row traditional way. Which gives you a lot of room. It's a very roomy heel. If you've got a really wide heel, the Kat Bordy's Sweet Tomato heel might be a good fit for you. And here is another pair of socks. This pattern is the Simple Skype pattern, which is a free pattern available on Ravelry. And it's basically just a ribbing, and then in the center of this rib here there is a slip stitch texture, and I loved knitting this this texture, and the slip stitches were really fun, and I love the look of it. And what I love about this too is that it looks good with different kinds of yarns. I mean, it looks really good with this kind of color blending sort of stripy yarn. It looks good with speckled yarn. It looks good with solid color because you can really see the slip stitches. And it looks really good with variegated yarn because that also helps you see the slip stitches in a different way. So you can, whatever kind of crazy color or solid or any sort of yarn, this will look nice. And this is another one I did a short row heel on. So can you see this? Can you see this, the short row line better here? There's the line of the short rows. Yeah, and here in this corner here, that's where the mini gusset is. As I said in the opening, reading did not happen this week, or audiobook listening, total bust. But for my escapist entertainment, I did watch two really good sci-fi movies. So I want to tell you briefly about them. But they were so good, I could talk a long time. I don't know. If anybody loves sci-fi movie talk, maybe I'll make a video about some of my favorite sci-fi movies, but I really loved these two this week. The first one was I Am Mother, which is after an apocalypse kills all the humans, and down in a bunker there is a collection of thousands of frozen embryos and a program to repopulate and bring back humans from extinction. the apocalypse happens. At the moment that happens, the power comes on, and a robot boots up and becomes operational, takes out one of the frozen embryos and starts it growing and begins raising and growing the new population of humans, and starts with just the one female girl baby. And so it's about daughter and the robot's called Mother, and this is really great storytelling. There's only 3 characters. There's Mother and daughter, and then in the early part of the movie, a human knocks at the door of the bunker, and everything just blows wide open as to what is really going on. So there's only 3 characters: the 2 humans, the woman and daughter, and robot Mother, which is a voice. An actor does the voice. So it's low budget, but storytelling is so good, and there are some effects, and the few effects that there are pretty decent. So it's really good storytelling, and that's what I also loved about The Beyond. Another kind of independent feeling. It's got that vibe to it, and it's filmed in a documentary style. So again, not a giant budget. There are some effects and some beautiful space shots and things, but not a lot. So, but the focus is on the storytelling, and it asks so many questions. The setup for The Beyond is that in either the present time or the near future, at the International Space System, an anomaly appears that they name it the Void, and nobody knows what it is or where it came from, how it just appeared. And so on Earth, an international space organization is scientists and engineers are working to find out what it is. Is it possibly a wormhole? Was it manufactured by aliens? Could there be a first contact? They just don't know anything about it. So they're sending drones, but that's not giving them enough information, and they're not able, the drones aren't sturdy enough to make it through the void and send data from the void. So they need to send astronauts, but biological humans also would not be able to survive that trip into the void, or at least they're pretty certain that they would not. And it would be a suicide mission. But they the military contacts the scientists and says that they have a Human 2.0 program, which is, well, the military developed it to make artificial soldiers, but they're saying you can use it to make artificial astronauts, which are a combination of biological and mechanical. Yeah, it's a human brain, and they create a interface and a system where the brain can integrate into the artificial body. And theoretically, possibly be immortal, and send these human 2.0 astronauts with artificial bodies that can survive into the void and to study it. And it's about this whole process then going into the void and what they learn. Excellent storytelling, and asks so many questions, and it does not answer them for you. It lets you ponder and think about the meaning of it, and brings up so many thoughts about humanity and what it means to be human, and the future of humanity. And so and it does not give you answers. It just lets you keep thinking, which I love. Combined with good storytelling, it was great. So if you're into sci-fi, I think most sci-fi people would enjoy both of those movies a lot. So I think we've come to the end of this episode, and I hope that your week was a good week. I hope that whatever beverage you chose or whatever crafting you had with you while you watched went well, and that all of your creative things are going well this week, and that you're enjoying really wonderful stories and books or movies or TV. Anyway, good storytelling and creative crafts, and I hope that's all been coming together and being very enjoyable for you. So for now, that's it. I'm going to say goodbye, and then I am going to tag on a couple clips and some photos in the slideshow at the end, because I think that's a great way.